Hello, everyone. It's been a few years, but welcome back to Moogy and Kevin LP a game.
We're playing Donkey Kong Country 4.
Uh,
Gonna get all the green bananas again.
no, I think we're actually playing an obscure, very obscure Dojin game that came out in 2011 called Asakura. It's a very fun game, and everyone who's watching this should go out and play it right now. So, let's start a new game.
And I'm gonna apologize in advance for the lack of quality of my mic. Apparently it's a problem on Kevin's end, so blame him.
Oh yeah, there's a storyline. I don't feel like translating it all, so I'll just say that you're being sent into the dungeon to get the 4 jewels as a test.
Yeah. Also, you're a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah, just like every good game.
Yeah. Well, not every good game. I mean, I want to be the guy, you're the kid.
Yeah, so there's lots of signs. They're all in Japanese, and I don't think we feel like translating those right now either. Or do we?
I don't really. I can summarize important ones if you care, but
Well, I don't. Well, these are all just.
it's probably faster to just show the gameplay anyway.
Yeah, those are all just basic tutorial signs that tell you what the buttons do. By the way, when you first start playing this, if you play this because you should, the first thing you're going to need to do is go into the options and change the buttons to something that makes sense.
The default controls are indeed quite bad. By the way, it doesn't look very hard right now, but this is it should be stated that this is an extremely difficult game, and you will not be beating it without 1,000 deaths or so at least on your first playthrough.
Yes. I haven't shown it off yet, but it will happen soon enough. Everything kills you in one hit.
Also, you may have noticed that he needs to collect magic points. These do not transfer between rooms, so one of the kind of main mechanics of the game is that you have to get new MP in each room.
Yes, these blue hearts are your MP. The big ones give 10, the small ones give 5. The attack shot, which is the only one I have right now, uses 3 MP. So I've got 3 shots with her right now.
And like any good Metroidvania, you get upgrades to MP and upgrades to shots and all that, and it's self-explanatory when we get there, basically.
Except, unlike most Metroidvanias, you're still weak as fuck at the end of this game, and you will die to everything.
Indeed.
Okay, so every floor also has a key and a treasure, and they're pretty easy to find early on. That one gave me a coin. Most of them give you coins. You will learn to love coins by the end of this game.
There's actually only a few shops where you can use the coins, but it works out that you spend every single coin exactly. So you want to try and find as many as you can, because some of the upgrades you can buy are pretty useful.
So there are multiple doors in each room. This here is the map. So there's 100 rooms. The goal is to get to the end. And this will involve probably breaking your mind and going through most of the rooms in the process.
And that probably sums up with the basic gameplay, I would say.
So, right now I'm just going through the early floors and getting everything. And trying not to die. So far, so good.
Yeah, so far. When do you think you'll get your first death? Let's place a bet.
Floor 8.
Okay, I'm going to say you can make it to the second area without dying.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, if you want to diminish your own abilities like that, who am I to stop you?
Maybe even if I go back to floor 7 early. Ah, yes, and you'll notice in the lower left corner, there's a little graphic that tells you when you've gotten the key and the chest. Very helpful for keeping track of these things.
Yeah.
Wait a second. I never noticed this ledge up here before. I'm pretty sure there's absolutely nothing up there, but I have to investigate that someday with endgame items.
It's probably just like a random scenery object thing. But who knows, maybe at least the secret bonus dungeon we never found.
The concept of a secret bonus dungeon in this game honestly scares me. Oh shit, I don't have a key. That's unusual. Usually in this game you end up getting far more keys than treasures.
Oh, right. You didn't mention, but you need a key to open a treasure chest. And there are 100 of each.
And this thing right here is a halfway point. You press up on it. Ah, this is the nice power-up that they don't give you very often because this game is not nice. It gives you unlimited MP until the end of the room.
Also, the midway points don't really appear very often at all, so you might as well forget about them.
They appear more often than shops, at least.
Oh yeah, this jump is kind of tricky.
But
As you can see, the difficulty is a pretty gradual slope, but before you notice it, it's just impossible. So, yeah.
yes, there's 100 floors of this, and it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah, this is one of the few games I've seen where the difficulty actually continues at pretty much a steady slope the entire time you're playing it.
So I just got a bubble key there. There might be a real name for that, but hell if I know it. When you get one of those, it changes the physical structure of the room in some way. So it might reveal a treasure chest, it might reveal a door. I think in a few cases it actually makes your life more miserable. Ah yes, so...
I can't recall anywhere where it actually makes the room more difficult. I think they're all to your benefit, but I might be mistaken.
So this room here has a... well, all the rooms have time limits. But... oh, well, there I go.
Oh,
Didn't even
there's
make it
your
past
first test.
floor 4. So every room has a time limit. Most of the time they don't matter. It's up there in the upper right corner. This room, it does matter. And you can get these clocks to extend the amount of time that you have.
Yeah, for the most part, you won't be worrying about the time limit, but there are occasionally rooms like this where the designer decides, screw you, you have to time attack this.
That sign says to drop between the hole there. Oh, that... I thought the key was there. Fuck. That's completely useless to me for a very long time.
Oh yeah, this leads to that one room we couldn't figure out forever, but...
Because
yeah.
you have to get more than halfway through the game to actually progress in it at all. Yeah, this game has stuff like that.
It doesn't actually have a lot of that, but it has a few instances where you're going to find stuff, or rather you can find stuff that you're not going to be able to do anything with for a long, long time.
There we go. Okay, so that right there, that's one of the most important items in the game. That'll make the little square on the map screen yellow, which means you can go to it at any time by going to the map and selecting it. This is important because it's the only way to travel around quickly in the game. Otherwise, you're going to be going through horrifying rooms to get around whenever you want to go to an earlier level, and that's really not fun.
In general, there's one checkpoint per row of floors on the map, and they're also the most well-hidden items in the game, more or less.
Yes, they make you work for them. Don't miss them. Oh yes, there are walls that are fake. Sometimes, usually in fact, they're really obvious, except when they're not.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of stuff like that later on, especially, where the creator is more or less dicking around with you.
These are jump blocks. They make you jump automatically.
That's pretty easy to understand, I think.
Well, just in case anyone thought I was actually jumping.
Right.
There's a few parts in the game that dick you over with those two, as you might expect.
Well, the game more or less is built around dicking you over, so that's no surprise.
And there we go.
Oh, yeah, and walls are not the only thing that you can go through like that.
Well, I just demonstrated that that one kills you.
Yeah. Like there are kind of a lot of what people would call Kaizo traps in this game. They're not really as bad as they are in Kaizo or rather Super Mario World hacks in general, but there is some stuff like that, and you need to be aware of just like that the game will pull stunts like that.
Yes, particularly on the floors built entirely around that concept. There are a few of those. They are interesting.
In general, it won't cause you too much trouble, but you're probably going to die to every single one of them the first time you get there.
Alright, so that bubble key opened up the weird wall down here.
So, and it also added some platforms so you get back up easier. A lot of the bubble keys do that just to kind of make your life easier the second time you go through the room.
Okay, this is our first upgrade. This gives me another shot type, which only uses 2 MP, but it doesn't kill enemies, it only moves them around. This is a fake platform, by the way. If you try and jump on it, you die. So this room is nicely set up to kind of give a tutorial of the moving shot, and it's called the gravity shot, actually. Can't kill these enemies, but you can knock them around.
And early on, this is useful because it allows you to conserve MP. So, see, if you had actually killed all these enemies, it would have taken too much MP, and you wouldn't have been able to get past that last one.
There is something I want to do in that room, just so I don't forget about it later. Ah, yes, these things here will fill up your MP whenever you use them. It doesn't give you unlimited MP like the stars, but you can use them however many times you want. So, right here.
Oh, and there's one thing I wanted to note. There is a key and a chest on every floor, but the key and chest are not linked. You can use the key for any chest on any floor, so they get added to your inventory up at the top right. I actually was kind of confused by this at first, so just in case.
So getting that bubble key there actually opened up a door down here, and that's... I forget if I can do anything about that door. Let's go check it out.
I forget what exactly is in there. Let's see.
Oh, yes, this is something I didn't find for a very long time on my first playthrough.
Right. Yeah, and you can get through here without power-ups. I think you can get through here without power-ups. I don't know. I've never done it without them.
For a second, I thought you needed the dash to get through there. You might need it for this. Oh, wow. Nope.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Okay. Well, let's see if I can...
And another thing that should be noted, when you get an item in a room, it's saved forever. You can immediately die after that, and it'll stay there. So most of the time when you go through a huge, annoying, obnoxious room like this and get the treasure at the end, you're just going to want to kill yourself and head back to the beginning. So you don't need to actually go through all that pain again the reverse way.
Yeah, it's much, much easier to just do that than to, try and actually not die. This game does not really punish you for death, so take advantage of that.
Now, there is a death count at the end of the game, but your deaths are probably going to be so high that it's not really worth trying to reduce them in the first place. I believe Kefet had over 2,000 by the time he first fully completed the game.
Not quite, but close. Oh, god damn it. This would be a lot easier with power-ups, but I don't want to come back here.
Yeah, it's kind of out of the way.
You may have noticed, in fact, that the background and music has changed. This, after every boss in this game, that happens. You haven't seen the boss, but that's because this is a hidden door that kind of goes out of order and takes me quite a bit further in the game than I'm supposed to be.
Well, I wouldn't say 4 floors is quite a bit further, but whatever floats your boat. Okay, don't die this time. If you die this time... okay, good.
This gives me another MP. These are actually really useful. Because those things that refill your MP and fill it to the max are pretty common. And the more MP you can get out of them, the better.
And I believe the max MP you can have is 40?
Yeah, that's what I recall.
Starting with 50.
Didn't do anything? Okay.
So yeah, basically one thing when you're playing this game, you want to realize that you're going to die a lot, and dying is part of the gameplay, so don't try to resist it. So basically, it's going to the game is going to make you its bitch, and you're going to like it.
Yeah, that's an important part of enjoying this game. If you enjoyed I Want to Be the Guy, or I Want to Be the Fan Game, or even something like Super Meat Boy, this might be right up your alley.
Though it's probably harder than all of those.
Probably. And
except like the secret treasures in I Want to Be the Fan Game.
Don't have... There's some Kaizo spikes right there just to fuck you over. And I don't have the key, and I'm not used to not having keys because, as I said earlier, later in the game you'll have way more keys than there are chests you can get to because there are a lot of chests that require power-ups.
Of course, if you know where all the chests are to begin with, you're going to end up using a lot of keys faster than on a normal playthrough, probably.
But before this, I played through about half the game, and you end up with way more keys than you can actually use.
I just noticed, like, the first time I played the game, I was definitely stocked way up on keys because I didn't know where any of the chests were.
A lot of the chests are really hard to find, so that'll happen. that's what I get for not paying attention. Whatever, I got the chest, and that was actually kind of a shortcut.
Another reason you should not fear death.
This is actually trickier than it might look. Because I don't think I can kill this guy.
I think you can, actually, but I don't know.
It's one of the things this game does to fuck with you, is it'll give you a limited amount of MP, and then you won't know if you can use it or not. And you might try and conserve it by doing really stupid things. I'm just gonna kill him and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah. Let's not get like 10 deaths in a room on the first level.
I guess that means I have to jump this guy. Huh.
The controls in this game are very good, so it's not much of a problem if you have to make some tricky ones.
Well, until later on, because they're so retarded.
Yeah. Oh, just you wait until we reach the inertia rooms, guys.
Oh, these guys are fun.
Also, for the most part, every enemy only takes 1 to 3 hits to kill, so it's not really that focused on actually fighting them until you get to the bosses.
Hey, look, it's a shop. There are maybe 3 of these in the game.
I think it's 5.
Nah, somewhere around there. The thing to note is that this is the only shop that you'll find in like the first 60 floors. So you'll probably forget they even exist.
Yeah.
Anyway, at this first one, the most important thing to buy is the range upgrade for the attack shot, which is this one right here. Because that'll make the bosses much more manageable. You'll want to come back later when you have more keys, more coins, but that's not the state I'm in right now.
By the way, the MP upgrades in the shop give you 2 MP.
Yeah, that's the next one I'd want, because who the fuck needs a gravity shop upgrade?
Yeah, I'm not really sure there's much reason to ever upgrade the gravity shot, but you know.
Oh.
You're supposed to go the other way there to get stuff. But
well, I had to die to the fake platform anyway.
Yeah. You might notice the pentagram blocks. Those are a recurring theme. This game is very irreligious. It's against Jesus. Don't play this if you're a Mormon or a Scientologist or something along those lines.
I don't think those are actually pentagrams, Moogy. I think those are the, like, standard magical star you see in Japanese.
Oh. Oh yeah, those are the Hebrew star. So don't play this if you're Jewish. Like, this game is the Hitler of games.
It's not quite that bad. Although I imagine a lot of people who play it would think it is.
Oh, and there's another recurring theme, blind jumps that you don't really know that you're supposed to do.
But that's okay, because that doesn't really do anything. You can just drive until you find the way to go. So I forget if there's another exit to this room. There is. I'm going to want to find that, probably, before I deal with this floor.
Yeah. Oh, next floor is the boss, I believe, so yeah.
Yes, that was a... you might have noticed the music change.
Well, I didn't, because I can't hear the music.
Well, that sucks, because the music in this game is great.
Oh yeah, the music for this game is actually original to the game, which is kind of cool.
Oh, I'm probably going to die a few times on this floor. Because this is the floor where you really do need to preserve your MP.
Yeah. You might notice this from the enemy placement, just analyzing how they're placed to be as annoying as possible. There are several rooms like this in the game where it would be really easy if you could just shoot the enemies. I think you can make it. Oh, wait, no.
Maybe I just need to rush by that point at first.
Yeah,
It's been a while since I've done this.
Be quicker to pass the green slime so you don't have to deal with both shots at once. Oh, or, okay.
But yes, on floors like this, you often have to experiment to find the best way past all of the bullets, because they are generally fired out in a non-random manner, and if you can figure that out, it'll make your life a lot easier.
It's about getting a rhythm down, basically, for how you can approach it, since every enemy will spawn at the same location every time.
Looks like I actually had an extra shot I could have used. Would have been nice to know that. Oh well.
And now you must die.
Somehow I didn't die right there.
Oh, and one thing you might notice about this room, there's more stuff in it that you will not see until later. That's
Yes.
another recurring theme.
If you go to the menu, you can see there's a question mark door, which means there's another door leading into the level which hasn't been found yet.
Well, specifically those are the rooms the room exits to, but you can also use it to see which it's connected to in general.
Let's see. Let's see with this guy. I already got his shots firing in the wrong place. So let's start over.
Okay, and here's the first boss. I'm going to be blunt and say I don't like the bosses in this game at all. Most of them are terribly unfun and not balanced very well.
Yeah, I agree.
This guy's pretty easy though, so you'll see the unfun ones later.
I don't even die to him. I'm the best player at this game.
But basically, they're all pretty much Don Maku based, which is kind of a cool idea, but
most of them don't pull it off.
The implementation doesn't work out so well most of the time. And I'd say that's really the game's major flaw is the bosses.
Oh, shit.
And for this guy, you'll notice that the red bullets stop when they hit a wall and the blue bullets just fire through everything. I think this is how it is for most bosses. I'm not sure, but most bosses tend to have shots like this.
Yeah, a lot of bosses are similar. I don't know if it's always red and blue like that. I don't recall, but there are similar mechanics.
And this guy, you can see, is pretty easy. It's basically just making sure his shots don't trap you in a corner.
He takes more hits than I remember.
It helps if you're kind of familiar with like the logistics behind dodging Don Maku with some of the bosses, and on the other ones it doesn't really matter because you're just gonna die.
There we go. So
I never noticed how like crappy those explosion effects were before.
What do you really expect?
Yeah.
So just because it's a boss doesn't mean that there's no chest and key. There's a chest and key in every boss room. They're usually pretty easy to find.
Oh, and once you kill the boss, it's just gone. Don't worry about dying in the room afterwards. Even if you don't exit it, it's not going to come back.
And usually the treasure you get from a boss is an upgrade. That gave us the third and final shot type, which turns enemies into blocks that you can step on.